Is there always a way to find a logical reason to feel happy in any negative situation?
Happiness is a choice independent of circumstances. When we look at things negatively and say, oh, I am so unhappy, we must remind ourselves there's another way to look at things. I tell you, when people say, Swamiji, are you ever unhappy? So I have to scan my head and see, when was the last time that I engaged in negative thinking?
How can one use the power of thought to get rid of negative thinking from subconscious mind?
As human beings, we have got a negativity bias of our mind. The good news is that if the mind got programmed with negativity, it can be programmed with positivity as well.
Swamiji, my next question is,
Yes.
It is sad, happiness or distress is not dependent on the circumstances. But the way we look at them, is there always a way to find a logical reason to feel happy in any negative situation, or that we should deliberately choose to be happy irrespective of it?
Yes, Harry, this question is so important because more than half, 50% of the people make a mistake here. They think they need a situation to become happy. But the fact is, happiness is a choice independent of circumstances. 2 soldiers got wounded in the war. They both had their right leg blown off due to a grenade explosion, and they were admitted in the army hospital. One was crying and cursing, why did the government declare war? Why did my friend not defend me at that time? And what is God doing? And the other was full of gratitude. I could have died. The only thing that happened, one leg got lost. I've got the other leg. Oh God, you are so kind.
Seeing half glass filled.
Exactly. So the situation is the same, but it's a question of how they are looking at it. So what we need to learn is the art of positive reframing. When we look at things negatively and say, oh, I am so unhappy, we must remind ourselves there's another way to look at things. There used to be a serial in the US called The Three Stooges.
Okay.
It ran for quite a few years, and one of the stooges would say, I cannot see, I cannot see. And the other stooge would say, why can you not see? He would say, because I have my eyes closed. And the other stooge would bop him on the head and he would say, okay, now I can see. So, the problem is, we think that we can see, but our holy scriptures say, you are not seeing things as they are. They are much different. So the word for scriptures in our culture is darshan shastra. Jo darshan karate hain. They let you see things as they are. Now, what does that mean? One lady, she always used to keep crying. She was called the crying lady. And she came to Swamiji and said, Swamiji, I am so unhappy. So I said, why are you unhappy? She said, I have 2 daughters. The first I married to a brickmaker. The second I married to an umbrella seller. Now whenever there is too much of rain, that girl of mine says, Mummy, it rains so much, we cannot make bricks. Please pray to God that it should not rain. And whenever there is sunshine, the second daughter says, Mummy, in this sunshine we cannot sell umbrellas. So either there is sunshine or there is rain. When there is sunshine, I remember the umbrella daughter and I feel unhappy. And when there is rain, I remember that brickmaker daughter and I feel unhappy. To Swamiji, I am always unhappy.
Reason?
So I said, look, just do a little switch. Whenever it rains, you remember the umbrella seller daughter. And whenever there is sunshine, you remember the brick seller son daughter. You will always be happy. And that change happened and she started becoming happy, and she became known as the happy lady. So it's a question.
That's a mindset you have to.
It's just a question of how we see things. I tell you, when people say, Swamiji, are you ever unhappy? So I have to scan my head and see, when was the last time that I engaged in negative thinking? I can't remember, at least for the last 8, 9, 10 years. Why? Because
that's amazing.
No matter what the problem, focus on the solution.
Beautiful.
Right? And when you focus on the solution, that's the best thing that you can do. So, it's a question of how we look at things.
That's beautiful. Everyone, please give a big hand. Swamiji, what a beautiful explanation. Swamiji, my next question is, you mentioned several ways to combat negative thoughts. In your book, Power of Thoughts, sometimes negative thoughts get etched in the subconscious mind due to life-shaking or traumatic events one might have gone through. How can one use the power of thought to get rid of negative thinking from subconscious mind? Isn't it going to be very hard to recover from such life-shaking experiences जो आम जिंदगी में हो जाते हैं? The way I lost my mother, I was broken, completely broken.
See, that is what happens. When we repeat a thought in the conscious mind again and again, it goes into the subconscious. And the subconscious gets programmed. So if you have revised a particular thought, that thought gets embedded. As human beings, we have got a negativity bias of our mind, which means that in your life there are 25 things that are going all right. The mind will not go there. There's one area that is giving problems, the mind goes there again and again and again.
Exactly this happens, Swami.
Exactly.
वो जो 25 अच्छी चीजें हो रही है वहाँ ध्यान नहीं जाता है.
Right.
वो एक नेगेटिव क्यों हो रही है? You will think only about highlighted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so. There was a research done that why is the media just gurgling out negative news?
Yeah.
So some scientists did a research in 17 countries, and they saw how much of impact the negative news has versus how much of impact positive news has. They found that people, they hear positive and they forget. But they hear the negative and they keep on thinking it. It kind of excites and fixates them.
Yes.
Now the media is interested in increasing their TRP points.
Yes.
So whatever fixates the people, that is what they're going to supply. So why is this negativity bias of our mind? Now imagine if there's a fish in a river. It has got negative stimuli, a bigger fish that can come and eat it. It's got positive stimuli, options to eat. Now if it misses the positive, it doesn't matter, there'll be other opportunities. But if it misses the negative, then it's gone. Right? So if you were to design a fish, you would have a negativity bias of its mind for its self-defense. कि भाई कुछ खतरा है तो सावधान हो जाओ.
हाँ.
But now for us human beings, it's not a matter of life and death. But just like I was saying the other day, that if fennel seed, saunf gets stuck, our tongue will not go anywhere else. It will just repeat that visit out there.
What an example. Yes.
So likewise, the mind naturally gravitates to the negative. Now if you keep on thinking the negative, it programs the subconscious. And this is called the Tetris effect. Let me tell you about the Tetris effect. It's a simple game where 4 kinds of objects, they fall from the sky.
Most selling game in the world.
That's right, at one time. So they fall like this, and your job is to ensure that you rotate either the device or whatever so that it falls in a proper way to create a horizontal line.
Yeah. And the line keeps on finishing.
Line disappears. Then the next one, then the it's a very simple game.
Yeah.
But it becomes addictive. So in Harvard, the scientists did an experiment. They said to the students, we will pay you for playing video games. Now imagine any student's dream situation to play video games and get paid for it. But there was a little catch, and the catch was that they would have to play it for 8 hours a day for about 4 days. And after that, what happened was their mind got stuck in the Tetris effect. So one confessed that when he was walking in the Philadelphia, he was looking at the skyline and thinking, if this skyscraper were to fall, it would fit in this gap. So that is how his mind was just thinking in the same way because of the practice. And likewise, somebody else said, when I was walking in the store, I saw the Cheerios box and I thought, if this turns, it will fit into this place. So that Tetris effect captured the mind so much. One Faiz Chopdat from England, he had gone to celebrate his honeymoon in Egypt. And on returning, he was playing Tetris. And the flight attendant said, you need to switch off your equipment. But he found it so fascinating, he was unable to switch it off. They gave him 3 warnings and then they arrested him. And when he came to England, the matter went to court and the judge gave him 4 months imprisonment for playing video games because he said you endangered the life of everybody on the flight.
Yeah.
So this is what happens, our mind gets programmed.
Yeah.
And then we think, oh my God, I am a victim of these thoughts.
Yeah.
But the good news is that if the mind got programmed with negativity, it can be programmed with positivity as well. You just have to repeat that thought again and again.
Yes, exactly. Swamiji, it happens when, as a musician, supposing I play a keyboard, so I don't even watch and I play the keyboard. Even Andrew was playing a guitar. So many wires he's taking, he's playing here and there. Every note is playing perfect without seeing, because the practice has been etched between the mind, and he can understand that. So the same way positive thoughts have to.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Please give a big hand for Swamiji. I mean, it's a dream come true today, Swamiji. That one-to-one I can understand it so well. It's a dream come true.